You're not unlucky. You're just afraid to build the life you want. You tell yourself stories about fate, about destiny, about how some people are born lucky and others are not. But deep down, you know it's not luck that's stopping you. It's fear. Fear of failure. Fear of rejection. Fear of being seen as not enough. So instead of trying, you stay still. You call it bad timing or bad luck. But the truth is, it's hesitation. You've probably done it hundreds of times without even noticing. You see an opportunity. Your heart says go for it. But your mind starts whispering, what if it doesn't work? You convince yourself you're being logical, that you're waiting for the right moment. But that's not logic. That's fear in disguise. Because the right time never comes. There is no perfect moment. The people you look at and call lucky, they started before they were ready. They took messy, uncomfortable, uncertain steps forward. That's not luck. That's courage. It's easier to say you're unlucky, because if you're unlucky, then it's not your fault. You can stay where you are and not feel guilty. You can say life has been unfair and that's why you never made it. You can tell yourself that other people had connections, support, or talent. But those are just excuses your fear builds to keep you safe. The problem is, safety is also a cage. It feels comfortable for a while, but over time, it starts to suffocate you. You stop growing. You stop dreaming. You stop living. Think about it. How many dreams have you buried under the phrase maybe someday? How many things have you wanted to try but never did because you were afraid of what people would think? You call yourself realistic, but you're just scared of disappointment. You'd rather not try than fail. But that's the biggest failure of all. Never giving yourself a chance. You're not unlucky. You're just letting fear make all your decisions for you. There's a quote by Carl Jung that perfectly explains this. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That's what most people do. They live the same patterns over and over, thinking it's fate or bad luck, when it's actually their own unacknowledged fear running the show. You attract what you tolerate. If you tolerate comfort more than growth, you'll get comfort, not happiness. Let me give you a real example. There was a guy named Ahmed. He was smart, creative, and full of ideas. But every time something didn't work out, he said, "Bro, I just have bad luck." He didn't get a job. Bad luck. His business failed. Bad luck. His relationships ended. Bad luck. But if you looked closely, he wasn't unlucky. He was just scared. He never stayed consistent. He quit whenever things got hard. He avoided taking risks. One day, he realized all the lucky people he envied weren't smarter than him. They were just braver. They tried, failed, learned, and tried again. So he decided to stop blaming luck. He started small, freelancing from his laptop. He worked hard every single day, even when results didn't show, and slowly, things changed. Within a year, he was earning more than ever before. Not because luck suddenly favored him, but because he stopped hiding behind fear. His bad luck disappeared the moment he started taking action. Fear is sneaky. It doesn't always shout. It often comes dressed as logic. It says things like, you need more time, or you don't have the right skills, or you'll start after this or that. And because it sounds rational, you listen. But here's the truth. If you wait until you're ready, you'll wait forever. You'll never feel 100% ready, because your brain is designed to protect you from discomfort. It will always invent reasons to delay the things that scare you. That's its job. But your job is to move anyway. You think fear is telling you to stop because it's dangerous. But most of the time, fear just means you're doing something that matters. The life you want is on the other side of fear. You want to get there by waiting for luck. You'll get there by acting in spite of fear. Every day you wait, you're building the life you don't want. You wake up, go through the same routine, complain about the same things, and tell yourself stories to make it feel okay. It's not my fault. It's not my time. I'll do it later. But you know that's not true. Deep down, you know you're capable of more. You just need to stop running from yourself. You have to stop waiting for motivation or for someone to save you. No one's coming. No one will knock on your door and hand you the perfect life. You have to build it, brick by brick, moment by moment, choice by choice. And it starts with one small act of courage. Send that email, apply for that job, start that page, record that video. Do something today, even if it's imperfect. Because imperfect action beats perfect hesitation every single time. The people you see succeeding didn't have luck. They had the courage to look stupid at first. They were willing to fail in front of others. They kept going even when no one believed in them. You can call it luck, but it's really persistence in disguise. You are not unlucky. You are afraid. And that's okay. Fear means you care. But you can't let fear be the driver of your life. You can feel afraid and still move forward. You can doubt yourself and still take action. You can fall and still get up again. That's what real strength looks like. You have a choice, to keep believing in luck, or to start believing in yourself. One keeps you waiting, the other sets you free. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, everything begins to change. You'll realize that luck isn't something you wait for. It's something you create through your consistency, your courage, and your willingness to fail forward. So stop saying you're unlucky. You're not cursed, you're just comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of growth. Get uncomfortable. Take that first step, because the life you want won't build itself. It is waiting for you to stop being afraid of becoming who you were meant to be. That's when everything shifts. Not when you find luck, but when you finally find your courage. You keep saying you want to change your life, but deep down, you're scared of what that actually means. Because real change doesn't just ask you to dream, it asks you to destroy. It asks you to let go of the version of yourself that keeps playing small, keeps making excuses, keeps calling fear logic. And that's hard, because even if your current life isn't what you want, it's still familiar. You know how it feels, you know its pain, its rhythm. Change, on the other hand, is unpredictable. It's uncomfortable, it's messy. And that's why most people stay stuck where they are. They confuse comfort with safety. Fear is tricky. It convinces you that staying where you are is safer than trying something new. It whispers, what if you fail? What if you look stupid? What if people laugh? But it never tells you the other side of the story. What if it works? What if this is the thing that changes everything? Fear always hides the potential behind a wall of doubt. It's like an overprotective guard dog that barks every time you get close to freedom. It's not trying to destroy you, it's trying to protect you. But the problem is, it doesn't know the difference between danger and growth. You see, your mind is designed to keep you alive, not to make you happy. When you step into the unknown, your brain sees it as a threat. That's why you get anxious before doing something new, or nervous before making a big decision. But the people who succeed aren't fearless, they just understand fear better. They know it's a signal, not a stop sign. They feel the same nerves you do. But instead of turning back, they move through it. Because they've learned that everything they want exists right beyond that fear. Think of fear like a door. Behind it lies the life you want, the freedom, success, and peace you've been chasing. But you can't open that door without walking through the discomfort. You can't think your way past fear, you can only act your way past it. The more you avoid it, the stronger it gets. The more you face it, the weaker it becomes. Every time you take action despite fear, you teach your brain that you're capable, that you can handle it, that fear doesn't control you anymore. Let me give you a real-life example. There was a girl named Sana who always dreamed of being a writer, but she never shared her work because she was terrified of being judged. She told herself she was unlucky, that no one would read her stuff anyway. But the truth was, she was afraid. One day, she decided to post a short story online. She was shaking when she hit publish. She expected no one to care, or worse, to mock her. But something surprising happened. People loved it. They connected with her words. That one small act of courage opened a door she had been too scared to touch for years. Within months, she was writing full-time. And when people called her lucky, she smiled. Because she knew it wasn't luck. It was bravery. That's how fear works. It loses its power the moment you face it. But if you run from it, it will chase you forever. Most people live their whole lives that way, running. They switch jobs, relationships, and cities, thinking they're escaping fear. But you can't outrun what's inside you. Fear doesn't leave until you face it. You might think you're unlucky because everything feels stuck, but maybe it's not bad luck. Maybe it's just the universe waiting for you to make a real decision. You say you want change, but you keep doing the same things. You say you want a new life, but you refuse to let go of the old one. You can't build a new chapter while still rereading the last one. At some point, you have to stop overthinking and just begin. Every dream requires sacrifice. You can't get freedom without discipline. You can't get growth without discomfort. You can't get success without risk. And fear is the price you pay for stepping into something bigger than yourself. The question is, are you willing to pay it? Because here's the truth, every lucky person you admire once stood exactly where you are now. They felt scared, unprepared, and uncertain. The only difference is, they didn't let fear make their choices for them. They took action anyway. They didn't wait for confidence. They built it through repetition, failure, and persistence. Confidence doesn't come first, action does. You don't wake up one day fearless. You become fearless by doing the things that scare you over and over until they don't anymore. You have to understand something powerful. Fear doesn't disappear when you succeed, it just changes. shape. There will always be a new challenge, a new uncertainty. The goal isn't to eliminate fear. It's to stop letting it decide who you are. The more you act in spite of fear, the more freedom you gain. And that's how you start building the life you actually want, one small, brave step at a time. So maybe the problem isn't that you're unlucky. Maybe it's that you've let fear build your life instead of courage. Fear built your hesitation. Fear built your excuses. Fear built the version of you that keeps playing small. But courage can rebuild you. Every time you act in courage, you take back a piece of your power. You stop waiting for things to happen and start making them happen. That's how ordinary people become extraordinary, not by luck, but by choice. The truth is, the life you want isn't waiting for luck. It's waiting for you to stop hiding behind fear, to stop overanalyzing, to stop saying someday. You don't need the right time, the right plan, or the right conditions. You just need the right mindset. Fear will always exist, but so will possibility. The one you choose to listen to determines the direction of your life. You are not unlucky. You are untrained in courage. And courage, like any muscle, grows when you use it. So use it. Take the risk. Step into the unknown. Because fear isn't your enemy, it's your invitation to grow. You keep wondering why your life feels stuck. Why things never seem to move forward no matter how much you wish for them to. You look around and see people doing what they love, achieving their goals, living lives that seem so far from yours, and you call them lucky. But maybe what separates them from you isn't luck, it's courage. The courage to fail, to start over, to be judged, and to be misunderstood. Because that's what building the life you want actually takes. It's not a straight path filled with motivation and magic. It's a rough, lonely road where you have to keep walking even when no one's watching. Fear doesn't just stop you from acting. It rewires how you see the world. It makes you believe everything is harder than it actually is. It tells you that people like you can't make it. It magnifies your flaws, your mistakes, your insecurities, until you believe that you're not enough to create something meaningful. But here's the thing, fear lies. It always lies. And the longer you listen to it, the more powerful it becomes. You start doubting your instincts. You start believing you need permission to live fully. You weren't born afraid. You learned it. You learned it through failure, through rejection, through moments when you gave your best and still didn't get what you wanted. And every time that happened, fear whispered, "See, you're not meant for more." So you built walls. You played small. You convinced yourself that it's better not to try than to risk being hurt again. But the problem with walls is that they don't just keep pain out. They keep everything out. Growth, love, opportunity, purpose, all of it stays on the other side of those walls you've built to feel safe. There's something deep inside you that still believes in more. That quiet voice that says, "I can do this. I was made for something bigger." You've tried to silence it, but it doesn't go away because it's your truth. That's the part of you that still remembers who you are before fear took over. Every time you imagine a better life, one where you feel free, confident, and fulfilled, that's not fantasy. That's your soul reminding you what's possible. But possibility requires action. You can't think your way into a better life. You can't wish your way there either. You have to move, even if it's slow, even if you fail, even if no one understands what you're doing. Because the moment you move, even just a little, you shift the energy around you. The world starts to respond, opportunities appear, people show up, and ideas connect. It's not magic, it's momentum. Let's be real for a second. You've already survived things you thought would break you. You've already faced pain, rejection, disappointment, and somehow, you're still here. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for. The fear that feels so big right now is nothing compared to what you've already overcome. So why let it control the rest of your story? You've already proven that you can handle hard things. It's time to handle the ones that lead you toward your dream. There was a man named Bilal who wanted to start a clothing brand. For years, he watched others doing it and kept saying, "They're lucky. They had money. They had connections." But one day he realized they didn't start with all that, they built it. So he decided to start small. No investors, no fancy website, just designs he loved and a borrowed sewing machine. The first few months were tough. No sales, no attention. His fear kept telling him to quit, but he didn't. He stayed consistent. A year later, his brand started catching fire online. The same people who once doubted him started calling him lucky. But he knew better. He knew what it took. Late nights, self-doubt, risk, failure. Not luck, courage. That's how it works. Every success story you've ever heard is built on invisible moments of fear and persistence. The problem is, we only see the result, never the pain behind it. So when things get hard for you, You assume it means you're not meant for it. But that's not true. Difficulty doesn't mean you're unlucky. It means you're growing. Here's something powerful to remember. Courage is contagious. Once you start, even with a single brave step, you begin to inspire yourself. You start to see progress, even if it's tiny, and that progress builds confidence. One step leads to another. One action becomes a habit, and slowly, the fear that once controlled you starts to fade, not because it disappears, but because you've learned to move through it. Every time you face fear, you become someone stronger. Every time you take action, you remind yourself that you're capable, and eventually, you stop identifying as someone who is unlucky and start seeing yourself as someone who takes control. Because luck is just what happens when preparation meets opportunity, and opportunity always finds people who are moving. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need to know the full path. You just need to take the next step. Fear will tell you you're not ready, but the truth is, you'll never feel ready. Readiness is something that comes after you start, not before. The moment you act, clarity follows. The more you move, the less afraid you become. So stop saying you're unlucky. Stop waiting for things to fall into place. Stop wishing for someone to rescue you. No one's coming to do that, because you are the one meant to rescue yourself. You are the one meant to build the life you keep dreaming about. It's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. The pain of discipline is always better than the pain of regret. You have two choices. Let fear keep writing your story, or pick up the pen and start writing it yourself. One path leads to more waiting, more excuses, more maybe someday. The other leads to freedom, the kind of life where you can finally say, I built this, and that's the truth. You were never unlucky. You were just afraid to begin. But once you do, once you stop letting fear decide your future, you'll realize something beautiful. The life you've always wanted was never far away. It was just waiting for you to be brave enough to build it.